first time since the trial began, we heard from disgraced singer R. Kelly. When asked by the judge if he planned to testify in his own defense, Kelly removed his mask and simply said, "No, ma'am." Meanwhile, the defense called its last witness, and then after that testimony concluded, there was some discussion between the attorneys regarding stipulations, and then the prosecution moved forward with closing arguments. After nearly 6 weeks of testimony and 50 witnesses called to testify, the trial involving the United States versus Robert Sylvester Kelly is winding down. In its summation, prosecutors told jurors disgraced singer R. Kelly, for 3 decades, used his fame, money, popularity, and a network of people to groom young boys and girls for sex, and he hid his crimes in plain sight. Prosecutors say Kelly used lies, manipulation, threats, and physical abuse to dominate his victims. 11 alleged sexual assault victims testified at the trial, some of them minors at the time of their alleged sexual involvement with Kelly, including the late R&B singer Aaliyah. Prosecutors say Kelly was the leader of a vast criminal enterprise. As they allege, he used members of his inner circle to carry out his criminal acts, adding they turned a blind eye to Kelly's behavior. No hesitation, no questions asked. It's alleged Kelly's personal assistant handed out pieces of paper to young girls with his phone number during concerts, and that members of his team would pick up young girls and drop them off to Kelly at hotels, his home, or the studio where he was recording. And prosecutors say many of the victims traveled across state lines, sometimes leaving their homes in other states to fly to Kelly, who lived in Chicago. Prosecutors say Kelly set very strict rules and required absolute obedience and loyalty from everyone around him. He made people sign confidentiality agreements. See no evil, hear no evil. Prosecutors allege he demanded that his assistants never take his girlfriends around any other men, and at least 2 former employees testified they were told not to even look at the girls. The jury was told Kelly produced child pornography, filming young girls on his iPad and video cameras, knowing they were underage. Prosecutors say he filmed the girls either alone in sexual situations, or he would film them having sex with his friends. They also say Kelly was violent, beating the girls if they disobeyed him. And 2 male accusers said they also had unwanted sex with Kelly and his girlfriends. It's alleged Kelly controlled his victims by threatening them, saying he would release nude photos of them if they decided to go public. Prosecutors also said Kelly would instruct his attorneys to draw up settlement agreements with victims to buy their silence. And they say in other cases, he would make victims and some employees write letters claiming they stole from him or were planning to blackmail him for money. During the trial, several people testified they did write those letters because Kelly told them to do it. But everything they wrote, they say, was a lie. The late singer Aaliyah was also used as an example to help prove Kelly knew he was dealing with an underage girl. Prosecutors say when Kelly thought he impregnated Aaliyah, he rushed to marry her in 1994 when she was only 15 years old. A member of Kelly's team paid a county worker in Illinois money to produce a forged document changing Aaliyah's age from 15 to 18 so they could get married. The marriage was later annulled. The prosecution spent close to 4 hours giving part of their closing arguments to the jury. They will pick up where they left off this morning. Meanwhile, eventually the defense will get its case as well, but ultimately the jury will have to make a decision. And at this rate, we believe the jury may get the case by Friday or late Friday afternoon. If not, this trial could last well into next week.